was a software developer for about 15 years. I create a lot of code for CA, mainly in PHP, but also I had the opportunity to code in Microsoft.NET, Python, C, and Node.js. Since 2014, I started to be DevOps leader. I have some opportunity with Docker, Vagrant, Box, OpenStack Cloud, and other manifests. If you would like to contact me, you can email me or send me a message on LinkedIn. Okay, so let's start the task our team has to do. Our task was quite simple. We decided it's time to give our developers a new development environment. We, of course, thought this is the great chance for us to play with Docker. We decided that our environment will be able to install all developers' local computers to avoid problems with different operating systems. We decided to use Vagrant and VirtualBox for running and provision virtual machines. So okay, now we know what to do, but the question is, where should we start? We decided that we should look at our application's architecture. You can see on the slide it's simplified versions. We can see that traffic for users is routed from managed boxes to web servers. It's important to pay attention that we have three different roles of these web servers. The most important thing is all these servers depend on each other. This was a big problem for us, and on the next slides, I'm going to tell you why. We can see that these web servers make use of some external services. They connect to database servers and a whole bunch of servers that form our caching layer. At the beginning of this project, we decided that there is no chance that we were able to do Docker containers for all components that form our platform. So we decided to start with our web servers and Vanish. For this presentation, I would like to focus on web servers, and I will omit how Vanish works because I think that the parts connected with web servers is more interesting and more complicated. Okay. We decided to start with our web servers. So let's look at the structure of our front-end applications. As we can see on the slide, our front-end application is built from two parts. The first is system configuration, written in form of part manifests. And the second one is of course application source code. Our application is written mainly PHP and with small additions than Node.js. To build the Docker image for our application, we of course need both parts. Okay, so now we can look at processes that we run in containers, that we should run in containers. We can see the HTTP server and some abstract services. They are also required for our service to work properly. At the first glance, we can say that it will be quite difficult to make our container running only one process, and this is the recommended way of running those containers. For now, we decided just to ignore it because we have some more important problems. We decided that we have to do some trade-off for this moment. Okay. When we make such basic assumptions, we can try to create Docker images for our applications. First, do it, we need a base image. At the beginning, we thought it would be quite easy to find proper image in public repository. There is above 45,000 images. We were sure we will be able to find proper image in this repository, but I have to remind you that we are working with the legacy codes. And this is not so simple because our application from compatibility reasons need some certain versions of some system packages. We even have our own private repository for the system packages. So in the end, we decided to create our own base image. We used the Bootstrap tool to create base Linux installation. Then on top of this installation, we add our own packages and create that base image using local import command. Okay, so we have now our base image. We can try to build our own images. When it comes to Docker images, very important aspect is automation process of creation such images. In our case, we decided to prepare some Python script that allows us to create all images at once and pushes them to our private repository. This script can be easy used by our release process to assure that these images will be created as often as we need. The next important thing about Docker images, it's very important to use tags for these images. They allow us to implement container versioning. We can use it, for example, to implement canary release on production servers. We can, for example, release some containers with new image version and observe how do they work with the rest of our platform. This is quite useful feature, and I think all should use it. Okay, we decided to create our images for our front servers. It seems quite easy because the only thing we have to do is was to create Docker file that will transform our Docker base image to image required for our application. Of course, in our case, it wasn't so easy because we had whole system configuration already prepared in form of Puppet manifests. We didn't want to duplicate all code we already had, so we decided that we will use this manifest to create our Docker images. And this was quite a good idea, but you have to be aware that Puppet manifests often contain code that wouldn't be executed on Docker containers. For example, from security reasons, not every command can be executed in container. The next problem is our Puppet manifests had a lot of comments that would be very connected with physical costs on this they were originally running. So in the end, it's quite possible that if you use original Puppet from physical machine, you will get a very large Docker image with features you don't need at all. So my conclusion is, in 2 cases of 3, we were able to use such puppets, but in the last one, we had to write Docker files because the amount of work required to change existing puppet was too big for us. Okay, when we have image for our front-end applications, we have to try to start our application. In our case, of course, it wasn't simple at all, and we failed. The problem is container dependencies. I talked about this on the second slide, I think. As you can see on this slide, all containers depend on each other. This is the problem because we can't even use container linking feature because it requires all containers are running at the moment the container is silent. So this is a big problem for us, especially that our application has a lot of static references to our web servers, our closest, of course. So we have a big problem with it. We tried as Skylog. Skylog is great tool. Of course, you run it as Docker container. It allows you to insert dynamic records to your DNS. And these records are added in the moment that the container starts. So you can change your DNS dynamics. Unfortunately, we cannot use this solution because it enforces the application to use URL format. That our application, of course, doesn't support. So again, we have to do trade-off as always. We decided to install DNS on our virtual box machine. We entered in this configuration DNS entries, static DNS entries that assume that each container will be visible under the same domain as it was when it was working on physical servers. It of course shows that all communication started to work and we at last have working application of our development environment. Okay, let's come to conclusions. After a month of work of two guys from our team, we have new development environment based on Docker. I think that in such cases we can't do anything in one step. If we will do it, it's quite possible that we will finish tasks that we won't finish tasks at all. And the next conclusion, very important, I think that you can't avoid trade-offs if you would like to migrate legacy code to Docker containers. What are we going to do next? Okay, of course, okay, we have to eliminate all the trade-offs we made. We have a plan to split these three containers into smaller parts. Then we will start to Dockerize the remaining platform components. And this is the step where our local machine won't be enough for application of such scale. So we have a plan to build a local cluster to handle scaling of our application with a possibility to run multiple servers with Docker. For now, we are testing methods with Python framework, and we hope that we will be able to solve this problem using these tools. And that's all from me. Thank you. Any questions?
Change your architecture of this application, because you said that it was very hard to find the proper way to just in order of starting Docker containers, but you will have the same problem if we lose energy in our data center and you have to restart physical servers with this application. Is it a problem now to restart this application in server space? Because it is the same case with starting physical servers and setting up Docker.
For this reason, we would like to switch to methods with Python framework because it allows to spawn new container instances if alt will stop work. So we are going to use this framework for that case. Because now it's not a problem for us because all containers work on our local machine. So we don't need we don't need
Now I feel.
That this solution is enough for this purpose that we use it.
It will be answer, but I'm sure I'm totally agree with some points of presentation. And in my case, my work, we decided to move from the updated legacy JBoss version to the Tomcat object. It doesn't matter. And the idea was, I mean, at the beginning, well, just doing Docker, still want to move step, do everything in Docker, and not bother with all these training steps. And that was the problem. And I totally agree with you the point that you that don't do big steps, just focus on simple steps. And for me, it was a great idea because first you have migrated legacy application to Tomcat only with bash scripts. So the next step would be to containerize it, and it was a good idea.
Yeah, I agree because I think you make the most of the step already ahead of us. In the sense that you already integrate your whole workflow, so the next step will be easier. And I hope because you mentioned drivers, but it was also on the side of OS, for example, which helps you orchestrate
It's the same concept as Mesos. You get, for example, 5 machines, you treat this as a one cluster and just treat it like a black box and just probably use container.
It was nice about CoreOS, what I like about CoreOS. I wouldn't do a short introduction to this for the next meeting to see what goes. But what is nice about CoreOS, in my opinion, which is the best of the Mesos, is that CoreOS is very lightweight. It's really like, it seems light. And it's designed this way that it's like restrained distribution, Linux distribution, which only runs Docker or Rockcraft. It's nice. But I think we're using other solutions like this, which also have some of the steps which steps or things not necessarily like in the whole package.
For now, we expect that Mesos because you have the biggest experience in company with this solution. That using running this. Any other questions?
Okay, so let's maybe start with live and talk sessions. Who would like to make that? Do you need a computer or?
I can
I think that this is that.
without anything. Because I just want to talk about.
So let's just.
You give me some because I have to run here because my taxi is waiting in like 2 minutes. I have to go back to the question. I would like to thank, of course, Love for making this meetup, and I would like to thank in the name of IT Business Link for sharing this venue. That's why we're here because it was not like in 5 minutes today that we had this venue, not the meetup will be cancelled. So great thanks to Business Link. I recommend this place. I work here since like 2 weeks, and this is great working space. And POZnan, we got like water and table topics and coffee machine and all stuff. So if there are any freelancers here or maybe small companies that you want to look for office, then I recommend this visit. And now I got to go and love folks enjoy.
Thanks.
Okay, so what do you use for logs aggregation? I mean, Logstash or something else? Logstash. Okay, everyone using Logstash. And in our case, in case of our organization, Logstash wasn't enough because in our scale, it works on JVM and it's written in Ruby. And in our case, in our scale of hits to Logstash, even scaling this was not enough because it was missing some entries. And we were searching for some replacement for, yeah.
terabytes, hundreds of terabytes. Because we got lots of edgy proxies and stuff like that. We get lots of requests, lots of request hits, and we got a cluster of RAID, some terabytes of logs, and Logstash was not enough in our case. And we got to search for some replacement, especially some written lightweight, easy to set up, not running on some integrated, for example, JRuby. And we found Heka, written by Mozilla. Heka is, of course, written in Golang, hash trendy, hash nice, hash single binary. It is lightweight, and it is simply the same idea as Logstash. But we can compile one single binary. In our case, it can handle with all these hits that Logstash can handle. It is divided the whole workflow because Heka is introduced as some kind of pipeline and is divided in 5 parts. The whole workflow. You can declare input, then decoder to decode the data from this input. Then you can filter something, encode it, and have some output. It is divided to just 5 parts, and you can control each part. And some parts you can control with Logstash. And like that, when it's written in Go, you got to compile all the rules or something to the binary. And one more thing, which is very interesting, you can write your decoders or encoders. Because right now in Logstash we got regex, right, for some things, because there are different formats of some legacy stuff, and we got to have some, for some kind of very peculiar legacy edge proxy, right? And in Heka, it has Lua language sandbox compiled in, and you can write your decoders in Lua. And in Lua, you have very nice libraries, library to write grammatics instead of regex. And this edgy proxy, regex for 184 page was simpler because and readable using this Lua library grammatics. So that's why I want you to check Heka if you can handle with Logstash, can handle your hits, or want to try some different approach to parse some very peculiar logs, not using regex but using some grammars and grammatics concept from Lua. That's it. So this is just docs, you just visit others. Heka D will be the library.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Logstash wasn't enough for your volume of the logs.
Yeah.
I just want to be sure that you check that. I assume that your Logstash was responsible for processing all the events and logs to
yeah, it was just multiplexer, right? Send it to Elasticsearch.
Yeah. So I just want to be sure that you check that it was not the problem with Elasticsearch, but with the Logstash.
Yeah, it was the problem definitely with the Logstash.
Really? Even if you scale more horizontally.
Yeah, problem with the Logstash.
Just to be sure, because currently we didn't decide to go with the idea of centralized system logging in production. But how many Logstash instance servers do you have? Like dozens, couple, 2?
No, not 2. Dozens.
No? Okay.
Because I got to handle with scale like thousands of machines.
And the next, some guys at GitHub mentioned that we could just introduce additional layer, like Cassandra or some NoSQL database just to store all the logs, and then Logstash will be responsible for fetching all the logs from this.
Shit, we didn't want to introduce one more layer because we got to make some things simpler because we got some legacy stuff. We got to do some things simpler, and that is simpler, faster, and one single binary instead of JVM.
Awesome. The other line up? For like sharing something with us or something. Okay, so in that case, anyone? No. Okay. In that case, I will make finish with short lightning talk about FreeBSD. So you should try FreeBSD when it's cool. It's like here's the thing right now.
Yeah.
If you want to be hipster, try FreeBSD. Best Linux. And why we should do this? Because it's Unix. It's always probably secure. I remember it was a very long time ago. At school, I was playing with some BSD, but I didn't realize how interesting the story behind this operating system is. So, FreeBSD is considered as a high-performance server operating system for servers, and it's very good at scaling stuff. So recently there was this article, this job offer from Facebook, and they said, well, we want to hire someone because we think there is a problem at that group as it is FreeBSD. So it's interesting that even Facebook acknowledges there is something better to be done, even though FreeBSD is not that known as Linux. Other thing is that the founder of WhatsApp recently gave $1 million to FreeBSD Foundation, which is amazing. And the story behind WhatsApp is pretty cool because WhatsApp was built on like two cool ideas that are now cool, but in the past wasn't really when the application was founded. So WhatsApp is this airline as a primary language, and they use FreeBSD as the separate transaction. And because of that, they can handle the load easily. So I recommend this link. It's from one of the engineers of WhatsApp, and he's explaining how FreeBSD and Erlang contributed to the success of WhatsApp. So they have a very small team. They have not many servers, not many servers as large software companies, but they are large. They have more than 500 million users using WhatsApp. So it's something that we should learn from. And so I wrote this article recently. I can listen to the easy on Hashtag. You can check this out. It's very, very easy. And yeah, try it. Just to close, I played before the talk with it. So let's log into FreeBSD and let's feel it. So I'm logging into
I really want to feel the difference.
yeah, it's maybe not.
Now I feel it.
But let's maybe just check it for a minute. So for example, you have this package where you can install binaries, and this is not preferred way because FreeBSD before was known for this that you install everything from source, like in Gentoo or other distributions.
Gentoo was basic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a similar idea. And right now it is binary, so you use for example, what is installed here, something here, engineers. And it's very easy to read this stuff. What's very nice about FreeBSD that it's also in the kernel as a Linux, at the whole construction. So when they read something, it's called the whole, it's being kept as a whole package. So yeah, basically that's it. I recommend you to try FreeBSD and read the articles I posted. Very nice. Any questions? Yeah. No, not yet. I haven't not yet.
Not yet.
So we will see. I have to be posted.
Prepare for compiling something.
Yeah, I will try because right now they say in this version you can mix. So you can have binaries and you can use ports. Pretty good in database. But they say you can answer some problems. We'll see. What is nice about compiling from source, because usually when I try Gent or something like that, I really like compiling from source. I don't know why. I really like this. I like this feeling of being able to configure everything, and even if it takes a lot of time. And that's why I like PBZ.
Have you ever installed FreeBSD on a desktop workstation?
No, never. But in back in the day when I was younger, I was very like Linux fan, and I was using these strange managers like window managers like it's Windows or something like that. It was like very crappy. It was like Vim, but visual and keyboard or something like that. So I imagine FreeBSD is something like that, like very on the edge, not polished.
What's your opinion about Jails?
Jails? Yeah, it's great. So that's the only reason well, this was funny because, but I'm considering FreeBSD because I like Jails, I like ZFS. It's amazing, this idea of like layered file system. So this is something which is in Docker, by the way, the same idea. So it works like this. So basically, you install a system, you have like some kind of file system, and then you add a package, and you have like a version of the whole file system, the whole tree. And it's very easy. It works like that, very fast. So basically, you can, like instantly base system, you can mark it like a base, and then you can say, I'm adding Nginx, and mark it as Nginx. And you can switch between the two. And then you can like fork it or something like that. You can go in different directions, which is amazing. And in Linux, there is this alternative called BTRFS, which is not very that good as CFS. Because CFS was like existed. Like reinvented the idea once again. The Docker existed in FreeBSD in the form of JS.
Before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly, because it was before it was cool. So JS are cool. There are other interesting projects. There is this project called I don't remember the name, but I posted it in the front page. When you can create virtual machines. It's not very well known, but it has the same capacities like easiness and performance. So I highly recommend you to check FreeBSD. If you are interested in do like in a workshop about it or something like that.
And do you find Jails better than Linux container solutions?
So Linux containers, well, before Docker, I think the progress of LXC wasn't like very fast. I think they improved a lot of things in Linux containers because of Docker. I have this impression. I'm not sure if it's just an impression. And what else? Well, the reason that Docker existed is because using LXC is difficult. They say that Docker is like abstraction. You don't have to bother about the details of LXC. And in JS, you don't have any abstraction because you use JS because it's easy. So I think if you compare those 2 points, well, it seems JS is good enough and you don't need compared to LXC. So you don't need another wrapper Docker on top of that. So yeah. Okay, any other questions?
I have one question. You mentioned about CoreOS.
Yeah.
Use that pull first from the next meeting.
Yeah.
Is it possible that you could present some difference between Core and CoreOS?
Okay, I know nothing about
So it's a free alternative.
Okay, I could do some research. Maybe someone there could help me, like do together. I don't know. I'd be happy. Let's do this. I'm very interested in CoreOS, but I could check for. Okay. Any ideas for other meetups? Did you like it today, or was it like good enough? So for the next meetup, I was thinking about like the same dates in February, and we could do like once a month and see how it goes. I would really like that we exchange a lot. So it's not like one person is talking, other are listening. Let's try to exchange, as we did like at the end. I think it's better because we have a lot of things to learn from each other. Okay, so I think it's over. Thank you for being here.